Okay, go ahead, Craig. Just speak and make sure everyone
Hello?
here.
Doing
Hello?
a sound check.
Test,
Getting
test,
ready for the National Zoo News
Test.
Conference on
test.
Ollie being safe
Hello?
and sound recaptured on the
Hello?
property
Should
of
I speak up?
National Zoo.
Up
Speak up a little bit. Yeah.
Speak up a little bit.
Up a little bit, like
Perfect.
Craig,
Yeah.
step forward.
Excellent.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Go ahead, Craig.
All right. Hello, good evening. My name is Craig Sappho. I am the curator of great cats here at the Smithsonian's National Zoo.
I'm Dr. Brandy Smith. I'm Associate Director for Animal Care Sciences here at the zoo.
And we're just over the moon happy to tell you guys that be able to relay the message that we have found, captured, and we have Ollie bobcat back at home at the zoo right now. We found her thanks to a tip from a visitor who was visiting the zoo this morning, or this afternoon, who just reported to some staff at our birdhouse that they saw the bobcat move across a walkway. The birdhouse staff let my staff and me know that what they saw. Myself and another curator grabbed the equipment that we have on hand and said, we're going to give it a shot. This is a reasonable tip. Let's see what we have going on. We took the traps live traps up to the birdhouse and set them. Crossed our fingers, walked away, and literally within 15 minutes, the birdhouse keepers called us back and told us, we have a bobcat in a trap up here. We tried to contain our excitement a little bit because we didn't want to get too excited yet. When the other curators and myself arrived up at the scene and we could confirm this is a bobcat, and I know Ollie pretty well, so I looked and it's a bobcat for sure. It's got to be Ollie. We started getting a little happier. We took her immediately up to our vet hospital, and we were able to confirm that this is definitely Ollie bobcat. So she is 100% back safe and sound at the zoo.
She's doing well right now. The only effect from her adventure in the zoo was that she has a small cut on her left front paw. And right now, we're not treating that cut. There's no need to treat it. We're just letting her be kind of calm and safe and secure up at our vet hospital, and then tomorrow morning we're going to do a full exam on her just to make sure that there are no ill effects at all from her time outside of her exhibit.
Will there be any special protocols to reintroduce her to her exhibit?
We are already going through the exhibit with a fine-tooth comb, so it's not protocol so much as increasing the level of containment in that exhibit to ensure that it's secure for bobcats.
I mean, for her, she's been out on the loose. Do you think she may have been exposed to anything, or does she need to get checked out or acclimated, re-entered somehow?
So that's what we're doing. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a full exam. Our one concern is that are there any diseases that she could transfer to the other bobcats in the exhibit? What we do think, their exhibit is outdoors. They have access to the outdoors. There are birds, there are chipmunks, squirrels that run through. One concern is if there are any respiratory illnesses that she could have caught from another animal or from being out. Those are more easily transferable. So we want to make sure that she's fully healthy and doesn't essentially pass a cold on to the other animals there.
Where do you guys think Ollie has been? The zoo the whole time? Elsewhere?
That's a really good question. We can't tell you with 100% certainty. Again, like as we discussed in our this morning's discussion, we've really relied heavily on the tips from our local neighbors. And if I had to wager a guess, the area that we actually trapped her behind the birdhouse, if you follow Rock Creek, where her exhibit is, she followed the creek, and she went exactly where we kind of thought she would have gone. If you follow that direction, there is a Park Police substation along Beach Drive, which butts right up to Massachusetts Avenue, which all connects through the woods that come back to the birdhouse. And I believe that the sightings that were seen on Massachusetts Avenue probably were her, and she's been coming back and forth going along that way. The really important thing, I think, is that for us and for our knowledge is that she didn't stray far away from home, and she came right back home. So she didn't go too far, which is really reassuring to us because, of course, some of the things that we wonder are, did she, and I think some of you guys asked the question earlier, did she escape because she wanted to be free? Well, I don't know. It kind of answers that question a little bit to me. I think she wanted to go out, have a little bit of fun, see what it was like on the outside. I think I'm ready to come back inside now. And she came right back into the trap.
What was that like? Because just a few hours ago, you guys said this was now a recovery operation, which suggests that you weren't too optimistic maybe about Ollie. So talk about what that was like for everyone at the zoo.
So I think everyone at the zoo, actually my boss asked me the question, you know, are you happier right now than when you woke up on Monday morning? I was over the moon thrilled. You know, when you find you know, a member of your family, or you find somebody who's been missing, it just kind of fills you with just joy, you know, like crazy joy. I think that when my colleagues and I were discussing Ollie this whole time, I think, of course, you start to lose some faith that you're going to find her, because at this point the world is her oyster, and you just don't know. You're not 100% sure. I think my keepers did a fantastic job of keeping me optimistic when I kind of wasn't feeling so optimistic, and then I hope that, you know, maybe I returned the favor to them a little bit. But I think my staff, you know, unfortunately, they all left at 3 o'clock, and so they're probably over the moon. I can't imagine how happy they must be right now.
I think one thing that's important is, you know, we talked about it, looking for a bobcat in Rock Creek Park was less of a chance than finding a needle in a haystack. And the staff here, we developed a plan, we followed the plan, we altered it as we needed to enhance our likelihood of catching her. And ultimately what we did was set traps, make this zoo area hospitable to her, because our first instinct was, you know what, she's going to go out and she's going to want to come back. And that's exactly what she did, and we were ready for her the second that she came back.
Each of your 3 bobcats has an independent enclosure. Did the 2 males reflect any behavior that suggested they may be aware something was amiss?
No, so the bobcats that came in, they all came in together at the same time as a group. They're not siblings or anything like that. They did all come in together as a group. So they've lived together here at our zoo for 3 years and some change, and they were together at their old facility before that. So they're all very familiar with each other. The boys never showed any kind of angst towards being having Ollie separated from them. When they were together, prior to Ollie's moving out, the keepers would even tell you Ollie was kind of the more independent animal. She was the one who kind of stood off. These animals we never saw them fighting. We never saw any kind of issues between them. However, you know, when it was time to come in and eat, Ollie would usually be either the first one or the last one in, where the boys kind of traveled together. So there didn't seem to be, we never heard any calling, we never saw any pacing from the boys while she was out. I'm anxious to see and interested to see how they act when she's returned. I suspect there's going to be a bunch of, hey, where'd you go? You know, and then nothing, you know, and then we'll see those 3 cats kind of hanging out together again, the way that we always saw them hanging out, just probably in a little bit different space.
Have you looked at video throughout the park to see if she was captured on video?
That's a good question. We will probably, so we're going to have a little bit of decompression time now as well, and kind of put things together as we have seen them. I was speaking with one of our police sergeants today, and he was putting together a map of sightings and areas. We'll probably do that same thing, just as kind of a sit-down recap. We will look at our video footage. The problem, I suspect, will be in trying to locate her on video, is that if I'm right, then she took Rock Creek all the way down to by our Amazonia area, and then hit the wooded patch there. We don't have surveillance cameras, I believe, that cover the wooded area. So I don't know that we will see her. We'll give it a shot. I mean, that's what we have the surveillance stuff for, and we'll be working closely with our zoo police to see if we can make that happen.
When will all 3 cats go back into the exhibit?
When it's ready. So we are in no rush to get the animals back on exhibit. First thing we want to do is make sure Ollie's safe and secure. Then we want to make sure that she and the other 2 bobcats, everything works well with them. And then we're going to take our time making sure the exhibit is secure. And part of it is it looks secure right now, so what can't we see? How was she able to get through that mesh? And I think one thing is, we have over 2,000 animals here at the zoo, and we prepare every day so that everything goes right. Sometimes when you have a living collection, anybody who has pets or kids can tell you some things just go wrong sometimes. And so this is one of those instances where we're going to look at this and we're going to review it, and then we'll make decisions and changes so that this doesn't happen.
Does Ollie the bobcat have like a personality, you know, and were you surprised that the cat went missing?
They all have personalities. I think every one of those almost 3,000 animals that Brandy mentioned have personality. Ollie definitely has a personality. She's typically a little more standoffish. She's not the cat who's going to walk right up to you. I think that a great example of her personality is that from where she was trapped, my colleagues and I, as we were putting the traps out, even said amongst ourselves, you know, she's probably sitting here looking at us right now. And as it turns out, she had to be sitting looking at us within the time frame within which the birdhouse keeper called us to say she's in a trap. She was watching us and waiting for us to walk away. So she never came out to say hi while we were standing there. She was just waiting to see what kind of goodies we left for her. She came in, and like Brandy said, she came in, she ate a couple of goodies, and she left a lot of goodies sitting in the crate. So she wasn't starving. She wasn't, she wasn't coming to us just because she had goodies. I think she was quite literally, for me anyway, I think she was ready to come home.
Based on what you said about Massachusetts Avenue and those sightings probably being Ollie, would you say maximum she went away 1 mile, 1.5, 2 miles?
Geez, yeah, I would say maximum 2 miles ish away from the zoo, and that's literally just off the top of my head. The Massachusetts Avenue over to the Cathedral area is where we got the most of our what we were calling credible sightings, and the ones that we responded to tried to canvass by foot. So if you can imagine that area, she certainly, for me, it doesn't look like she took too many roadways. She stayed where it was nice and quiet.
Mostly the river?
Mostly the river and the wooded area between the Mass Ave Embassy Row area and the back of the zoo Beach Drive area.
Okay, Dr. Smith, a final comment, and then anything final you want to say? Into the microphone.
I just want to, I think, Craig said this so well, but, this was really, it was the planning that we put in place to make sure that we could capture her, our knowledge of her behavior and biology with the belief that she would want to come back home, but then tied that with everyone from the press, the police, animal control, and the public who called in on the hotline. We appreciate everyone's help and everyone's support to this whole thing. Thank you.
Brandy Smith, animal specialist at Smithsonian's National Zoo, joined by Craig Sappho, curator of great cats, with the good news. Ollie, nearly 7 years old, 25-pound bobcat. It's been roaming around for a few days in the very hospitable environment of Rock Creek Park. Bobcat friendly, but now she's back home, safe and sound.